Hey everyone. I realize that there is something that I kind of talk about and throw this term around when I've done Q&As and in our training classes and elsewhere. And to a lot of you, it's probably way more exciting than it is to me. When as we sanitize language we have in our world, right? When I neutralize a safe, when I bust into it, right? When I destroy the front of a safe to gain access. If a combination has been lost or something is broken or malfunctioning, that's routine stuff, right? Like I've done it a lot. I've never shown that to you, have I? I was recently on a job. In this case, the government office I was in, I was on very good rapport with the folk there. And I said, hey, do you mind if I set up a camera and film? Obviously, I'm not going to say where I am or say what contents were in the safe, etc. They didn't even know entirely. Essentially, they needed to access something that they thought was probably in this one safe that had been disused. And I mean, stuff was in there for decades, apparently. Like it was going back a ways, the contents of this cabinet. And yeah, they said, sure, go ahead. I mean, if you can get in here, we really need you. We've heard good things. And we had one knucklehead who showed up, didn't know what he was doing, and he just caused a bunch of debris in the room and then left. I really love what you're about to see here. It's a piece of kit that does not cause debris. It's just about the most self-contained and really badass way of getting into a GSA container, a government file cabinet style safe. So here you go. I'll talk a little bit through it. I'll narrate what's going on, and you'll get to see kind of a truncated version of a safe entry process. So what I'm using in this job is called a mounted drill rig. This is something that allows the technician to focus just on the job at hand of cutting or grinding without the distraction of having to hold onto something, bear a bunch of weight, apply force. And I'm mounting it right into this plate. So you see I'm bolting it down to this mounting plate that's screwed right into the outer skin of the safe. Now, how do I know where to localize it and where to position it? I mean, that's just part of the training. It's part of the job knowledge. So after I've got this all tightened down and everything, you'll see the really neat part. That carbide hole saw is going to create a lot of cutting debris, a lot of heat and smoke. This rig encloses the whole affair. It's kind of like a little hot box, right? So here comes a headphone warning. Yeah, all of that smoke and debris, you don't have to worry about it blowing around the office, right? I don't have to get a burn permit. I don't have to have blankets put down. All I have to do is focus on the cutting. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm feathering the pressure on and off, on and off. I'm trying to keep this pressure down on the steel and let the carbide do its job, but I don't want to bog the motor out too hard. Ultimately, it's just a process of giving just the right amount of pressure on, a little bit of pressure off. So I've punched through the outer skin in a second here. That doesn't go too long. You can see, boom, all right, we're through the outer skin, but now we're gonna get onto the locking bolts. And the locking bolts are, of course, much tougher. So crank it down a little further. We're about to meet them. And again, we're just gonna kind of feather back and forth. It's not just the drill motor that I'm worried about. I don't wanna burn out the drill, obviously. It's a rough customer, though. What I really wanna do is keep the RPM steady. High-speed steel, or in this case carbide, of course. Carbide, they get decent cutting pressure and kind of medium to high RPMs. You're removing metal by shearing it off in little bits. You can use cutting fluid or coolant if you wish, but you don't have to. It's really mostly hard temperature swings that'll wear out high-speed steel. Carbide can be run dry and fast. That's no problem, but it's vibration and interrupted cuts that are the biggest enemy of carbide. So you want to make sure you're trying to stay right in that sweet zone. And there's all kind of other bits and tools, the Mr. Twister, diamond core cutters. I mean, there's different RPMs and pressures and chuck tightness. All right, we're coming up on another headphone warning because we're about to neutralize this bolt here. We're almost there. And ka-chunk. All right. So we're through that side, and here you go. Here's, again, that sort of college dorm fishbowl action. This box contains most of the smoke and the debris right there. I mean, a lot of the debris is inside the safe, but the smoke as well. That's why we tape up the drawers. The smoke and all the fumes, they kind of stay in there. Now, is that great for the drill motor? I mean, it's not ideal, but it's way better than having to, again, get all kind of burn permits. So you can see we're almost completely through. We just barely pulled off at the end, backed off so the whole saw doesn't get ripped apart. We're gonna, little more headphone warning for you here. Once that mounting plate's out of there, we can take a whack. All right, we've cracked the last little bit of that locking bolt on one side. And you'll see it's not a perfect process. Now, of course, we did the same thing on the other side. It's about a 15 to 20 minute cutting time on each of those big holes. So now you think we're almost there, right? But again, the handle's just not playing nice. That right side bolt snapped completely apart, but the left side was still being a little jammy. So we had to really kind of torque on it and thwack on it. You know, sometimes that just happens. But that's where you got the pry bars and a lot of other tools in the truck. And I give her one good bit of whatnot, bang.
Right.
And there we are. And of course the custodian is right there when we open. And he's going to take out the sensitive materials and tell me what a great job it was and fun to watch and how much more there was in here.
Wow, there's a lot more in here than I thought.
Right on, man.
Well, how about that? There you go. If you've never seen a safe drilled and opened, there are harder safes out there, of course. The GSA containers, the file cabinet containers especially, are not meant to be impenetrable. They're meant to not be able to be opened without causing quite a ruckus and usually leaving behind some clear signs. We were able to put containers like this back into service ever since 1990 with the GSA Red program. I mean, you have to have replaceable drawer heads. So we can order a new drawer head from the DoD lock program, get a new lock on there, and recertify it. I can recertify that safe and spin it back up if they want us to. But the idea is that you wouldn't be able to do what I just did without a guard coming along or an IDS activating or something else. But it's nice that we did it without, the fire alarm going off. All right. Wanted to show you a little bit of my work sometimes. Hope you enjoyed that. And as always, I hope that you have a happy 4th and that you stay safe out there.